Hello! In this mini lecture we will look at communicating services, interoperability and different examples of E and M services. E services are technology-mediated communication. The communication between the government and the citizen, but also between other stakeholders such as other government institutions and businesses. One way to look at the communication of services is to look at different stage models. There have been provided a bunch by different authors, and we covered the topic already in the mini lecture on different phases of services. But overall, we have divided the stages between the publishing of information, interaction, transaction of secure information, and sharing information with other agencies. These models describe quite clearly how the communication of services has evolved. There has been added an additional stage though, political participation. Communication of services also means asking questions about potential improvements. Which channels are the customers using to request or contact your service? But we also need to ask, who is the service provided for? What is being communicated? What channel is being used? What systems are involved for data entry, access and archiving? What are the outcomes of service delivery and the experience of the customer? What channels have been used? What is the feedback from customers? How to optimize the usage of channels? There has been an overall shift from paper-based and face-to-face communication towards a more instantaneous phone and self-service options. Choosing between whether to develop e-services or m-services is also one of the recent discussions that is shaping where the focus is directed. M-services are often specific geographic region and retrieve real-time information. They are often information-oriented services that have limited user interaction. Such services and wireless data can be accessed by a large number of users, but at the same time, it can also be assumed that M-services are lightweight. Is it always like that? Maybe instead we have to go back to habits and look at the factors that are now shaping how we make the decisions on which services to implement. As already mentioned in one of the previous mini lectures, we have to take into consideration the complexity of the service, its importance, ways it is used and its overall usability, accessibility, comfort and the frequency of its use. E-services and M-services are provided over the web or wireless channels. There are more mobile users now than internet users, so these organizations and institutions who are looking to implement services should also take this into consideration. And lastly, we can talk about services through the notion of interoperability. Firstly, what is interoperability? This is the ability to make systems and organizations work together or interoperate. The term was initially defined for ICTs to allow information exchange. The broader definition takes into account the political, social and organizational factors that impact system-to-system performance. There are different ways how systems or organizations can work together. Firstly, syntactic interoperability is when two or more systems are capable of communicating and exchanging data. Syntactic interoperability is a necessary condition for further interoperability. XML and SQL standards are among the tools for syntactic interoperability. XML is the extensible markup language that defines a set of rules for encoding documents in a format that is both machine-readable and human-readable. And SQL is the structured query language, which is a special-purpose programming language designed for managing data held in relational database management systems. Secondly, semantic interoperability goes beyond the ability of two or more computer systems to exchange information. Semantic interoperability is the ability to automatically interpret the information exchange meaningfully and accurately in order to produce useful results as defined by the end users of both systems. And lastly, cross-domain interoperability exists when organizations or systems from different domains interact in information exchange, services and/or goods to achieve their own or common goods. This is becoming increasingly important as business and government operations become more global and interdependent. This enables synergy extends product utility, and enables users to be more effective and successful within their own domains, and the combined efforts, which are characterized by common understanding and agreements on both sides of a domain boundary that enable individual organizations to tailor or make their products, assets, or services interoperable within the larger community. We are looking more closely at the social sciences domain, the cross-domain interoperability rather than syntactic and semantic interoperability that reaches into the technical and ICT's domain. As said, interoperability is the ability of two or more systems or components to exchange information and to use that information. Adapted to the domain of services, enterprise service interoperability is the ability of services in an enterprise to exchange information and to use that information. Enterprise service interoperability is divided into runtime enterprise service interoperability and design times enterprise service interoperability. The first one is concerned with the interoperability of services that in the scenario under evaluation are supposed to be working together. It is divided into three subcategories. Firstly, there are properties that can be assessed within the scope of a single service. Service runtime interoperability. Secondly, the quality of service pair interaction captures aspects that can be measured by pairwise comparison of all service pairs supposed to interact. Finally, some properties must be analyzed in a wider scope than that of pairs, namely in the power set scope, excluding the empty set and the sets with only one member. This is the noted quality of interaction for power set. Design time service interoperability is a matter of analyzing the effort needed for possible future collections of services to interoperate, regardless of their current relationship to each other. Something especially interesting if design is to be done at runtime. Design time interoperability is, as in the case of runtime interoperability, divided into three categories covering aspects of a single service, pairs of services, and the power set of services. Dear listeners, thank you for your attention throughout the mini lectures. I hope you enjoyed the videos and got some new ideas and thoughts from here. I also recommend finding out more about the topics presented. So please follow the course structure for additional reading and resources. The tasks of the course are listed under each relevant session. So thank you again for your attention and keep on learning.